Sony, what the hell's going on? Now, I've noticed in the last couple days the PlayStation retro market is essentially exploding. And this is more due to the fact that, well, the PSN Store for the PlayStation 3 and the PSP will be closing on July 2nd, 2021. And following that, for the Vita as well on August 27th, 2021. Because of this, and maybe a little bit because of what happened on March 31st with Nintendo and, them killing off Super Mario 35 and them pretty much limiting sales on a digital only game, this kind of woke up gamers. And whether they were just collectors or people just wanted to play games, that they grew up with, the freaking eBay market has just gone crazy. I mean, games that were just, sought after but not that expensive, like stuff that were like $20 are now being sold for like 120. And it really depends on what kind of market you're looking at, because for like the PS1 and the PS Vita market, those essentially have exploded in the sense that Gravity Rush, here's a great example. Gravity Rush was like $30. Now it's going for like 120, and I guarantee that's going to go even higher due to the fact that, but there's like a PS4 version. The remastered version has already been rare as all hell. So I can easily see this being an issue. Even though Gravity Rush was available for PS Plus, that is now, being seen as finite. These games will just go away. And yes, Sony's been saying, you can still download your games, and you still have PS Plus. But how much longer will that last? Because seriously, games can just disappear, and it doesn't look good for the rest of us. But yeah, PS1 and PS Vita market has just exploded. For example, Parasite Eve 2. Yeah, Parasite Eve 2. This game has just exploded in price. And mainly due to the fact that this was available on the PSN Store. You could buy this for about $6. And yes, you could still emulate it, you could do all that stuff, but it's just that nice little feeling that you could actually buy it, from the company themselves. It's an official way to support developers. But when you're just deleting that option and you're just giving the money to just freaking scalpers on eBay, yeah, or at this point it's not even scalpers because they're not hoarding copies. At this point it's just the resale market just skyrocketing. And if you're not giving us an option to play it normally, well, we're just going to play it any way we can. And that goes also to people who are just going on fire sale, just buying everything they can and trying to sell it as a freaking inflated price. I'm not saying you're scalping, because that's mostly a term that would be used for like newer sales and stuff like that. But you're not helping the cause out. And I understand why, because yeah, things are getting bad. But I mean, that's just the PS1 market. That's been fluctuating for God knows how long. It's not that big of a deal. Well, even the PS3 market is starting to see kind of an influx in certain things. Now, certain games will always go up in price. Obviously, the PS3 is starting to slowly become retro. It's only 15 years old, but yes, those games will eventually go up in price, and there are some games that are already rare. But a shining example of the PSN going down is actually this. I wouldn't call it rare, but it's definitely not a common game, because I've been to many stores and I've rarely seen this thing. But yeah, this used to be like $20-30 tops. Best of PlayStation Network Volume 1 is now going for, at least at the time of this video, is now going for about $150 to like $200. Then the lowest I've seen it was like 107, and that was like through bidding, like at late at night. But regardless, this is a collection of games that are exclusive to the PSN Store. And the PSN Store's not even down yet, and this thing is already skyrocketing in price because people are starting to catch wise, like, I want to get this game, or I can buy this now and I could resell it later, because this is what's happening. Just the impending doom of the store closing is already causing shit like this to skyrocket. And you know what? I'm just going to go through this really quickly. I mean, it's 4 games, and it's kind of interesting to talk about each one in individual, but it's going to be quick about this. But yeah, once the PSN Store for the PlayStation 3 goes down, essentially all these games will be unavailable except for 2 in some form. But yeah, let's go through this whole lineup. First up, Fat Princess. You can still buy this on the PSP. Thankfully, this has a physical version, a standalone version for the PSP. It is a little bit different. It's a little more improved. But yes, this still exists on the PSP, and from what I remember, this is a somewhat common game, and it's not that rare. So for all you action, real-time strategy video game, lovers, this is still available in some form. Next up, Sound Shapes. Now, this is a cool little platformer-style rhythm game, and thankfully, this is on the PS4, on the store, so this is still widely available. Don't worry about that. But these next 2 are essentially dead after this, unless you own a Japanese PlayStation 3, but I'll get to that. But yeah, next up, Tokyo Jungle. Now, Tokyo Jungle is a very odd game, but even I'll admit, I even bought this thing for $1 back when it was on sale because it was at least intriguing. Now, this is not going to, set the world on fire, but this is still a pretty decent game. You're playing essentially animals trying to survive, or it's pretty much survival of the fittest in Tokyo after humans are just eradicated. All humans are gone, and it's just, the animal kingdom pretty much taking over the whole city. This is a decently fun game, but yeah, unless you own a Japanese PS3 and a physical copy that way, the only way you're going to play this game ever again is by getting the PlayStation Network Volume 1 collection. And, like I said, this thing's getting rare. And finally, the last game, Vikings Attack. Now, this game is a surprise to me because I actually had a lot of fun, and it's a fighting-style video game. Essentially, it's like a brawler, but all you do is you're a group of people, and you're picking up things, and you're throwing them around like freaking Frank West in Dead Rising. This is honestly a lot of fun, and unless you already have this downloaded, this is going bye-bye. Again, none of these games are going to set the world on fire. They're just cute little, like mini games. They're fun. They're probably like $5 each, like probably right now or whatever the hell. But point is, something as insignificant as that is just jumping up in price. This whole freaking just impending doom style, like everyone's going crazy, like oh shit, things are going freaking on sale. Resident Evil 2 for the PS1, a game that has been pretty much on everyone's PS3 hard drive. I'm pretty sure. Come on, but yeah. That thing is essentially jumping up in price, and this is going to just start, just freaking the domino effect into other freaking consoles. Like the GameCube version is going to start going up. This is just bad for gaming in general, especially if you're a person who just wants to just play the game, and if you want to still support the developers. Because yes, like I said before, going to the eBay market, you're not giving money to developers. You're just giving them straight to scalpers or just resellers. And again, good on them, especially in this freaking situation. And speaking of that, with the pandemic, I mean, this is not, a freaking, all of a sudden thing. With the pandemic, retro game market was already exploding. I mean, people were just getting, freaking stimulus checks or just getting any money away. People were just selling off their games. The point is, the retro market was already going, a little crazy. And with the PSN pretty much becoming a reality now, and again, I feel like the whole Mario dying thing was just the freaking match on the freaking kerosene. It just started going freaking haywire, because at that point, I started seeing everything explode. I mean, Xbox games, that's pretty much been, okay. Old GameCube games, that's been just going up regardless. But mainly PlayStation. And this will start to trickle on over the other systems, but mainly PlayStation 1, PSP, a little bit of PS2, because there's also games in the PS2, or the PS3 store that you can actually buy that are PS2, classics. You could still buy some. Here's nothing. The PS4 does have PS2 classics. But that library pales in comparison compared to the freaking slew of games that are available on PS3. So, unless you got these games physically, they're going bye-bye. And the only way to get them is through crazy inflated prices on eBay. And yeah, this is getting bad. Now, I don't want to sound all doom and gloom. And here's like hopefully the good things. Like there's been rumors out there that have kind of been overshadowed by a lot of this stuff, and hopefully it's true. But supposedly there's a new patent for the PS5, pretty much hinting at backwards compatibility. Now, this is great for someone like me, who already has pretty much every game that I'd like to own from the PS1. I'm not trying to go for a full collection. I just wanted to get the games that I freaking wanted. Like, for example, another game that's on PSN that's going bye-bye, Metal Slug X. I freaking love this version of this game. This game is freaking awesome. But yeah, unless you get it on PSN or you track yourself down one of these copies, you're not going to be able to get this game. And this is a specific version of this game. I know Metal Slug X is on freaking every system, but this has a combat school style, like challenge mode. And the only way to play it after this is to buy a copy like this, if you already have it downloaded on your PSN Store account, or emulate it. But with this backwards compatibility thing, this could be a good thing for me, but not such a great thing for other people. But this does open the door for emulation, in the sense that maybe they could start reselling all these games in the PlayStation Store, or the PS5 and PS4 Store, which would be great. That's gonna suck for people who are, need to rebuy the games, but rebuying a game hopefully will be a lot cheaper than buying it freaking off eBay and then having a PS3 or a PS1 or a PS2 to just play these games. And yeah, this is just getting worse and worse. But again, there is hopefully something good here. But again, that's just a rumor. That's just a patent. We don't even know. This is a thing that's been pretty much circulating since the freaking PS5 before it even came out. So I'm hoping that it's true, but at the same time, don't hold your breath. The next thing that could be also a plus in some people's eyes is PS Now, the streaming service run by PlayStation. And this just has the same problem. You're going to be able to play these games, but you won't own them, you won't be able to play them forever. Eventually this system will go down, or games will start being delisted. I've always hated streaming for that exact purpose. I like to just play a game, whether it be, download it on my system, or just play it physically. But the fact of the matter is, this is where the market's starting to shift, and it's kind of a good thing and make a lot more games, more accessible, but at the same time, it's also making a lot more games inaccessible to people who just don't have the means to do this, or fast enough internet connection, or just have the systems that there's always going to be some specific bullshit that's going to cause I don't have any freaking $15 to spend every goddamn month to play these games over and over again. Rather just spend $10 and just buy this game, I can play it forever, because that's the dream. And it's funny that I say that's a dream because that's what used to be the reality. Regardless, by no means am I making this video to say, holy shit, go to freaking eBay and start freaking buying up everything you can. That ship's already sailed. And like I said, things are gonna get worse. The PS Store is not even down yet for any of these systems. It's still up. It's in shambles. I mean, the front page is just a shell of its former self. It's like a skeleton. And the only way you can really find games is just by going through the search bar. And yeah, I don't know if that's indicative to the time that I went on, but it seems like deals and sales are also kaput. So if you were looking for if you're waiting for that special sale to, pick up Final Fantasy Tactics because, you're waiting for it to go down to a good price, that's probably done. And I know this video's gonna be dated the second I release it, and I'm hoping that it becomes even more dated because I just would love for that, possibility of PS5 being able to play all systems prior. If that's what you're doing, Sony, you should tell us that. Because right now, once all this shit hits the fan and everything just and yes, I get it. You're probably making great sales in your PSN store right now because, oh my god, all these games are going to go. I'm going to buy all the PS1 games. I'm just going to have my freaking hard drive just full of them. I mean, that's a great strategy to an extent. But people who like physical games are starting to panic. And whether it be, resellers just starting to jack up the prices or just people going on freaking spending sprees. In the future, if you say, oh yeah, by the way, all the games that were on the PSN Store prior are now on the PS5, you can buy them on... You could have just told us that, and we would be buying them right now. It's a weird thing to just cause all this panic for essentially nothing, and this is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is, screw it. PSN Store is down, we don't care anymore. All these games are done, you're never playing these games again. All the people who want to play Silent Hill freaking 1 on the PS1, screw you, either download it off our freaking PSN Store, or just go out and buy a copy off eBay for $150. Jesus Christ, that game is skyrocketed. But yeah. PS1, PS3, PSP, and the Vita, and PS2 a little bit, not as much, but definitely some titles, are going to just skyrocket in price. And again, I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom and just trying to tell you, oh, go any way you can to find these copies. Because it's too late for that. Copies have skyrocketed, and it's getting ridiculous. Games that were $10 to $20, at most $30 to $40, weeks ago, from the time of this video, are now at $150 to $200, depending on how sought after or how great the game was. This is insane. And unless they literally cancel the PSN Store closing down for all these systems, or at least try to give it a little more life or just some other way to buy them, you are going to drive people in droves to the freaking emulation market. And if you're also a person who already emulates, I mean, yeah, this doesn't affect you at all. I mean, obviously, this is not going to affect you one bit. But for the rest of us who want to actually, support developers, who want to support publishers, hell, even publishers and developers who are currently trying to put games onto the Vita, well, all I can say is thank God there's Steam, because at this point, PlayStation is just saying, screw everyone. If you're not going to be releasing things on the PS4 or the PS5, we don't care. And if there's any classic games that you like, yeah, well, tough shit. Well, and that's the whole video. I know this is a whole lament. I mean, essentially, this is just a whole rant video. I get it. But yeah, just be wary. Again, prices will eventually start to, level off. There's going to be freaking buying fatigue, retro fatigue. But, for PS1, things are going to skyrocket, but they're going to probably slowly come back down. For PS2, also the same. I mean, the landmark titles like freaking Silent Hill, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, those ain't going anywhere. Those are going to stay skyrocketed because those are not only harder to find, but they're just sought after. So those are going to just stay up in that nice, expensive range. But yeah, expect the PS1 market to at least just start leveling off because of fatigue. But whereas PSP did really well, the Vita, or also the PS3 it'll level off, but the Vita is the one I'm most concerned about because that one didn't sell really well when it was out. Its lifetime, it was a modest success, but it wasn't great. And after Sony pretty much said, oh, screw it, we're going to stop making the console, we're not going to support it anymore. Every game that was, it's an okay market, prices aren't that expensive. You can get yourself a Vita for like $150, get a couple of games. That's gone. That's completely gone because not only are collectors going to be looking at this freaking console with just freaking wide eyes going, holy shit, this thing's, now sought after, it's rare, and, if you wanted to get the freaking games any other way, you can't. Because now, with the store closing, getting stuff like Gravity Rush is not just a quick sale away or just getting the PlayStation Plus version like I do. Instead, those prices are going to skyrocket, and it's going to get really bad. Also, this is not my delisted 3 video. We're going to be talking about that when we get to it. I'm only talking about the games that are currently out right now that you can still get your hands on. And after the PSN Store closes, you can still get your hands on them. It's just going to be a lot harder. But yeah, in the sense of delisted games, there's a good amount that are going to be essentially disappearing after those dates on the PS3, PSP, and PS Vita. Now, a lot of them are shovelware, but there are some games, sadly, that aren't going to be widely available anymore. Because not only were they, hard to find, or just straight up PlayStation Store exclusives. Yeah. They're going to be dead. But yeah, regardless, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, this is going to hurt. But hopefully things will level off and maybe we get that backwards compatible PS5. Push for that, Sony. Do that. Please, for the love of God, do that. If you're not announcing it, that's fine, but just please make it work. See you guys later.